Hello, happy Monday. The Virgin Islands Police Department is stepping closer and closer toward compliance with its consent decree. This week, supervisors of the police department from corporal up gathered at the Marriott's Frenchman's Reef. They brushed up on the latest training of use of force on by police officers. News2's April Knight has that story.
The Virgin Islands Police Department is working on compliance with its long-standing consent decree. This week, the court-appointed independent team of monitors is training the supervisors of the police department on the use of force by police and how to investigate them.
This week is to go through the supervisors, ensure that they're carrying out their policies, that they're investigating the uses of force and to determine reasonableness with each and every uses of force within an incident.
Use of force is a necessary tool for the police department, but each instance and each level needs to be thoroughly investigated.
There's various levels of force, and to ensure that those levels of force are investigated, that a supervisor responds to the scene and that assesses each level of force.
This week's training is tailored specifically to the consent decree, according to monitors. Police Commissioner Delroy Richards said the department is compliant with 80 paragraphs of the consent decree. Now they're just working on the remaining 20, and a lot of those paragraphs, he said, are linked to each other.
20 paragraphs that are out of compliance. Some of them are related to the use of force investigations. And most of those paragraphs are linked, so compliance with one paragraph would assist in a compliance with the other paragraphs.
Acting Police Chief Jason Marsh has been with the department for 20 years and is quite familiar with the nuances of the consent decree. When asked how close the police department is to full compliance.
Not too far, but with the steady progress we're making, I think we should be out of it shortly.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
The independent monitors training on use of force investigations was also made available to St. Croix police officers this week. Again, the next court date on the consent decree is scheduled for August 2016. Meanwhile, police say 22-year-old Kasim Daniel was shot dead on Saturday at approximately 11:03 p.m. They say shots fired in the area of First Stop gas station in Estate Thomas was reported.
Responded, and upon arrival, contact was made with the unresponsive black male. The male appeared to have been shot multiple times, and he had succumbed to his injury. This case is presently under investigation by the Homicide Task Force. Any persons having information regarding this incident are asked to contact the task force at 340-774-2211. You can also call 911 or Crime Stopper.
On Saturday, officers were dispatched at 11:17 a.m. at the King Christian Hotel. CPR was being administered to a female minor, later identified as 8-year-old Jamari Dimer. The ambulance arrived and transported the female minor to the Wallaby Hospital, where all attempts were made to revive the minor as she was pronounced dead at 12:04 p.m. The preliminary investigation revealed that the victim was attending a birthday party for one of her friends at the King Christian Hotel in Christiansted when another minor saw the victim's body at the bottom of the end of the pool. During that time, the victim was pulled from the pool by a bystander. The victim's family was immediately notified. On June 26 at approximately 1:32 a.m., officers from the Anselmo Marshal Command arrested 30-year-old Purnell Towers for robbery second. The suspect was identified as one of the individuals who robbed a male victim of cash and a mobile device on the boardwalk in Christiansted. Mr. Towers was detained pending his advice of rights hearing. This has been the second boardwalk robbery within the past 2 weeks, and both suspects have been apprehended due to the late-night VIPD initiative. We reported on a series of hearings that began Friday on Senator Positive Nelson's medical marijuana bill. The legislation would approve and regulate the use of medical pot, set up provisioning centers, and a startup fund of $500,000. The hearings continued on Monday, showing the same trend, testifiers who are split on the merits of the bill. News2's April Knight has an update.
Testifiers made their final pleas before the Senate Committee on Health and Hospitals on Monday, both for and against the legalization of medical pot in the Virgin Islands.
Of course, there will be a cost associated with monitoring and controlling this, but the benefits would outweigh these costs.
In spite of passionate pleas from supporters of legalizing medical pot in the Virgin Islands, some testifiers pointed out specific problems in Senator Positive Nelson's bill. In their opinion, the bill is not well put together.
It's like having a strainer and pouring something through it. Everything goes through. There's no control on no talk about the purity of the product, nothing at all.
One medical doctor said the bill is too loose when it comes to defining practitioners authorized to prescribe medical marijuana. To prevent a potential free-for-all, he recommends limiting said practitioners to those who are authorized to prescribe scheduled drugs.
This section gives privileges to groups of healthcare providers that their own practice acts do not. May I respectfully suggest that this section be amended to include only practitioners who are currently authorized to prescribe scheduled medication.
But bill draftsman Ken Sobel said this is not a new point and that other states allow non-medical doctors to prescribe cannabis.
For example, Arizona allows doctors, osteopaths, naturopaths, and homeopaths. New Mexico includes that list to include nurse practitioners.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
The Senate hearing continued late into Monday evening. There was no vote. By news time, we will keep you updated. The delegate says campaign for re-election is officially well underway, and she has some general meetings planned. And you can come out and meet her, hear more from her Friday, July 1st, 6 to 8 p.m. at Walkers by the Sea, Lindbergh Bay on St. Thomas, and then St. Croix, the general meeting, meet the candidate. That will be held on Saturday, July 2nd, 6 to 8 p.m. at the 2+2 restaurant in La Grande Princess St. Croix. Regular campaign meetings will be held every Tuesday and Wednesday from now until Election Day, she says. All are welcome and encouraged to attend on St. Croix every Tuesday. It's at 6 p.m. at the Lorraine Chicken Shack on St. Thomas every Wednesday, 6 p.m. at Ramblers Club, which is near the Schneider Regional Hospital. Hillary Clinton and Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren today shared a stage in Cincinnati, and together their latest attack, a tag team on Donald Trump, was just that, stronger. Warren opened the volley by countering the real estate mogul's goofy attack line, suggesting the billionaire businessman look in the mirror. Trump has mocked Warren over her Native American ancestry. Speaking to reporters at his Turnberry golf course last Friday, Trump also celebrated Brexit, another point Warren attacked him on, as well as for chairing the 2008 housing crash because it benefited him. Meanwhile, just days after the UK voted narrowly to leave the European Union, the aftershocks are still being felt. All eyes are on the financial markets, now set to begin a new trading week after Friday's substantial losses. Britain's parliament meets Monday for the first time since that referendum, and Scotland says it could use its authority to block the UK's exit from the EU amid the security. The U.S. Secretary of State is in Europe trying to find a path forward. Kim Hutchinson has more.
Secretary of State John Kerry meets Monday with European Union leaders in Belgium and with UK officials in London, searching for what he calls a sensible and thoughtful Brexit transition. The shockwaves from the vote are still rippling across the globe, with even Pope Francis weighing in.
There's something that is not working in that unwieldy union. But let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater.
British markets are expected to see more losses after Friday's plunge.
And the great irony of this, we lost more overnight than we paid into the European Union for the last 15 years. Financial services is what runs the city and makes a lot of the wealth that we have in this country.
Politicians who supported the Leave vote dismiss market jitters.
There's been so much nonsense talked about the market. The stock market finished up the week just 2% down. That's not particularly unusual. So I don't buy the chaos in the markets thing at all. I really, really don't.
But European economists believe the situation is likely to get worse before it gets better.
It is a mess, and it's a global mess, unfortunately. I think that the numbers do not state the real magnitude of the problem. So this is really throwing things up, and the nervousness that you see in the markets is likely to continue for some time.
I'm Kim Hutchinson reporting.
Meanwhile, keeping our eye on the economy, let's take a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. And as we just reported, the aftershocks are still being felt just days after that. according to the numbers there, we can see everything down. The Dow 260, NASDAQ 113, S&P 500 also down at 36. Coming up on News 2, St. John Festival schedule and events underway. A new queen is crowned. Plus, HIV National Testing Day was recognized worldwide. And in the VI, Department of Health's HIV prevention program, they held some free testing sites. That's coming up. Welcome back. Great All Construction Company has commenced work on the construction of a retaining wall to facilitate the expansion of the market. The VI Department of Agriculture reminds Estate Bordeaux residents living in close proximity to the Bordeaux Farmers Market and patrons of the market that construction is expected to be completed in October 2016. They say the market expansion will enhance the overall market environment and improve the vending areas for the regular farmers market, the annual Bordeaux Agricultural Fair, and other activities in the future. As a result of the construction, the bi-monthly farmers market will be temporarily relocated to a place to be determined. Count on 2. We will keep you updated. HIV National Testing Day was recognized worldwide. And in the VI, Department of Health's HIV prevention program, they held free testing sites at the Charles Howard Complex on St. Croix and Walgreens on St. Thomas. The free events were scheduled for participants to know their status.
HIV is no longer a death sentence. It's not a disease that you get it and you die. If you know your status, there's many things that you can do to make sure you maintain good health, and there's steps that you can take to protect your partner or partners. So what we're asking you to do is, if you don't know your status, come out and get tested. If you know your status but haven't been tested for a while and you've done some things that is a little bit risky, we're asking you to also come in and get tested. It's only by doing this that these numbers that have been on the rise but seems to be going down, we want it to go down some more. So get tested, know your status, so we could take care of our community and yourself.
Today, the Department of Health, the HIV prevention program is partnering with Walgreens to provide free HIV testing. Today is National HIV Testing Day. The disease, it's no longer considered the kiss of death. As a matter of fact, a few years ago, the CDC has deemed it a chronic disease such as diabetes and hypertension. Well, you know, we would like to have persons go and get tests. Persons at least from the ages of 13 to 64 should test annually. If you are gay, bisexual, or have multiple sexual partners, you should also be tested on a regular basis.
On Saturday, June 25th, looking at our St. John Festival, the Festival Queen pageant took place at the Franklin Powell Senior Park. And there we are, our winner right there. Contestant number 2, Steffi Nicholas. Miss St. John Festival Queen results, here they are. Miss Congeniality, contestant number 3, Shara Isaac. Miss Cooperative, contestant number 1, Sedacia Foy. Miss Photogenic, contestant number 2, Steffi Nicholas. She also got Best Career Wear. Miss Intellect, contestant number 2 again, Steffi Nicholas. Best International Wear Talent winner, contestant number 2, Steffi Nicholas. Best Evening Wear, contestant number 1, Sedacia Foy. And again, our winner is contestant number 2, Steffi Nicholas. We will have footage on Tuesday. Now let's look at some of the other honorees. We have Delroy Eitel Anthony, and the village honoree is Delreese Varlek. The parade grand marshal is Nicolay Hutz. Now, Sunday was the festival food fair and coronation at the Franklin Powell Senior Park. We will have those highlights for you. Well, on June 4th, it was the festival panorama that was held, and the festival bike race that kicked off, and then the St. John Festival Princess pageant was held. On Tuesday, June 28th, 6 p.m., looking forward, we have the Festival Children's Village that opens, and then 7 p.m. Festival Village opens in the Cruz Bay parking lot. On Sunday, July 3rd at 1 p.m., horse races are on tap at the Clinton E. Phipps Racetrack. On Sunday, July 3rd at 1 p.m., Emancipation Day, that program is on tap at the Powell Park. Sunday, July 3rd, 12 p.m. is the Festival Poker Run. that's in Cruz Bay. And then July 4th, 4 a.m., we have Juve. 11 a.m., the festival parade. At 9 p.m., we have the fireworks display and in the harbor right there. Well, the coach said the Sky High volleyball young ladies, they represented well, the VI very well, and they played a tough game. There were 177 volleyball courts set up in the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, and it is the biggest volleyball tournament in the world. There were 30,000 girls competing in the tournament, with over 300 teams that came from across the U.S., California, Hawaii, Nebraska. Every state was represented. There was even an international division, which included teams like China, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, and Mexico. The competition ran from Wednesday to Sunday, and the young ladies got to enjoy one day at Disney World before they return home tomorrow. The team headed for Florida to compete in the 43rd Junior National Volleyball Championships. It began June 19th to the 26th, 8 full days of competition. From the VI, 3 teams playing an 18 and under elite playing in the premium division, 17 and under team playing in the classic division, and 15 and under team playing in the classic division. Good luck to the young ladies as they return home. Well, turning our attention overseas, rapper 50 Cent's dirty lyrics got him in trouble with the law in St. Kitts. A local newspaper says he was arrested for using profanity on stage during a music festival Saturday. Police took him into custody Sunday in his dressing room after the show. According to media reports, the rapper was told in advance that cursing on stage is illegal in the Caribbean island. 50 Cent, whose real name is Curtis Jackson III, was later released on bail. His rep told the People magazine that 50 Cent sang over a playback track, but a local DJ who played it didn't have a clean version, so some profanity ended up in the show. The BET Awards delivered a huge tribute to Prince, but this year, the Grey's Anatomy actor Jesse Williams commanded the spotlight with an impassioned speech calling for an end to police killings, racial inequality, and cultural appropriation after accepting the humanitarian award. Winners included Drake and Future for Best Group, Drake for Best Male Hip Hop Artist, Best New Artist went to Bryson Tiller. Beyonce and Kendrick Lamar kicked off the evening with a show-stopping performance, Day of Freedom. Beyonce won both Video of the Year and Viewer's Choice Award. Now, in Prince's memory, Jennifer Hudson right there belted out the lyrics, while Roots guitarist Captain Kirk Douglas handled the guitar solo on Purple Rain. Maxwell updated the lyrics to Nothing Compares to You, referencing the length of time since Prince's passing. Sheila E., she brought down the house with a medley of Prince-penned songs. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.